Now, this is a slower mix than what we're going to do a lot of times just because I'm trying to prove a point right at the beginning of class. Like I said, we don't always mix hot. We're just using this as a tool. And in class, because we have such small samples and we want to be able to turn our samples quickly, we'll pour hot a lot of times in class because I'd like to pour another sample before lunch and then get outside and work outside after lunch. But just like I always try to remind people, on a job site, you'd be pouring cooler. This is just a tool. So, are you at 95 degrees, everybody around 95?
No, only 86.
86? Okay. Well, whenever you hit 95, each one of you guys, you have 400 milliliters, put approximately 2 tablespoons of the white pigment into your mix. So I'm going to put a little more than that. This bag, if it's full and you have a full kit, this is the exact ratio for 2 gallons of epoxy to totally pigment and color block it. So like I say, you don't, not necessarily for the sample, you can kind of guess, but about 2 tablespoons. For the sample, you can kind of guess, but about 2 tablespoons. You'll notice this will kind of slow down that exothermic reaction putting the color, and if you put too much in there, it'll really slow it down and kind of almost reverse it. So too much pigment's not necessarily a good thing, so you don't want too much pigment. Also, this pigment never cures. It doesn't dry. It's never going to cure outside of epoxy. So don't try doing veins with just pigment in class, or you'll have a never curing, never cleanable piece that'll have to go in the dumpster. Yeah, so right at about 95, and then just get a good mix again. And then once it's mixed in really thoroughly, you can kind of slow that mix down and just hit it every few minutes and check your temp. It'll be a little more rapid because we're only going up to 105 and then we want to pour it. So, and each table should have 1 brush. Just make sure your sample, if you guys have you have an extra sample at your table, you can remove that other sample and kind of spread out, give yourselves room if you want to. Welcome back. I don't even know if anybody joined us. I got us canceled. I got us restricted earlier. Sorry, I said something bad and I made the TikTok gods angry. So sorry AI or China, whatever that was. God bless you guys. I will try to be quieter. We have a class going on right now. We're getting ready, just about ready to pour a white marble sample here. So. Who learned about us from TikTok? Anybody in here at all? What about YouTube? YouTube? Right on. We are really trying to put some time into our YouTube channel, so hit that follow and subscribe, but definitely go over and check us out on YouTube if you guys are interested. Russ, good morning, man. How is everybody doing? How's everybody out there in the world of live TikTok or YouTube, wherever this ends up? Anything fun this Monday morning? I almost said Wednesday. Had a long weekend. I went mountain biking 3 times this weekend and motorcycle riding once in 2 days. So one day I motorcycle rode and mountain bike rode, and the other day I had to mountain bike ride twice. So it's the risk of having awesome children. So at least I got to spend lots of time with my kiddos. Thank you guys for being back.
Every time we touch the cup, it cools it down. So.
Russ, thanks for being here, man. God bless you. Okay. Remember to check our temp. We want to pour all the contents out at 105. So we won't leave any in the container for any reason. If your thermometer gives you some crazy wacko reading like 36 or something, that's Celsius, push the little red button in the center and it'll flick it over to Fahrenheit. So we want to pour all the contents out at 105. You don't have to mix too rigorously, rigorously, is that a word? Vigorously. Yeah, you don't have to mix too vigorously, but definitely mix it thoroughly. And then you can kind of give it a little bit of a break, but get right back after it. I'm going to check on some projects. We were really excited about this river table. Was going to be an ocean theme with ocean life and everything, and at the last minute the guy changed his mind. And thank God he caught us in time because it was just about to be ocean life in hours. I wish I'd have got it down first. So. Yeah, that's 1 drop per 2 or 3 kits on average there. So just very minor, just so you can get that kind of smoked look, like tinted glass. That's what he was looking for. And this here is some fancy like billionaire suitcase that they say is their most priceless object. So let's make sure if you are looking at it, try not to touch the top because we can't have any of the sawdust flake off into the box at all, or else we'd have a piece we'd have to remove and patch. So I don't know. Hope I don't mess that one up. Oscar, epoxy wouldn't be your best, but you know, our polyaspartic is very, about 25-year color stable, so I don't know how that works with UV block or anything like that, though, but that's a good idea. Call our office if you want to try a poly, but just try it on one panel and see what your results are, but that's kind of a cool idea. I bet you depending on what you're bonding to, you may be able to even sand it mechanically or braid it, but if it's glass, it's probably more likely broken if it was glass, so I don't know. But what a cool idea. So, Peggy, thank you, Peggy. We love you, Peggy. God bless you today. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for being here on the channel. 105? Yeah, we'll pour at 105. Just about to pour our white marble countertop here in class, so thank you for joining us. This is an epoxy class. So.
I'm at 106.
Yeah, you can pour it out then.
Pour it on the surface?
Yep. 100% of it. And let's really clean everything out around it. Take your liquid pigment bag, maybe put it back into your cup there. Try to kind of organize your area. And really remember, just take your time brushing that epoxy out as even as possible. And I would really, I know I'm OCD, but I would really clean and organize my table up a little better. Make sure I have some space, because you don't want to be working this where it's dripping off on all your stuff. Or it's not going to make... What's that? And you can work this right there so it's a little closer to you. You don't have a hurt back at the end of class. Yeah. Missing one hardener, it looks like, over here, huh? Oh, it's one underneath.
Even over the entire piece?
Yep. Just brush it out very evenly. So remember, we're not trying to get color necessarily. We're going for an even layer and covering 100% of your piece. So.
Does stirring impact the temperature?
As to the extent that it makes sure the molecules are properly mixed, yes. Because basically what happens is you have resin and hardener, and you have to have so many hardener molecules attached to every resin molecule for proper hardness. And let's say you need 8 hardener molecules connected to each one resin molecule. If you're off ratio, say you have too much hardener, then you'll have 10 instead of 8 hardener molecules trying to connect to it. Those extra 2 floaters will start just floating around there. That's what creates softer resin or discoloration in your resin. That's another reason I say to kind of watch your ratio with your pigment, because this is all molecules floating around in there too, and you start getting over the ratio that your resin and hardener can accept all those the color molecules in there. Then you start like diluting it also, and it starts blocking that bond between your resin and hardener, and you start getting the same thing. You'll get more likely discoloration and stuff like that. So keeping your ratio of color on and ratio of product and not overheating the product prior to that is a lot of ways that you can really protect, especially a white color, to be more color stable. So that's kind of what I say. Accuracy matters. I am right about ready to pour. What's our temp there? Ooh, shizzle, I forgot. Okay, Michael needs to yell at me more often. Say, what's that, sir?
What's the ratio for the pigment color to, say, a gallon of?
It would be half of this. This is, technically, this is 12 fluid ounces of product, so it's a liquid measurement of 12 fluid ounces. And this would be good for 2 gallons, the entire thing. And that's like a perfect ratio. Now, a lot of times if I have, like, say right now I'm gonna mix some black accent, I don't really care if it's like super concentrated black, because I'm not trying to pour a countertop with it, I'm trying to accent a piece. So I can put a little less in there and not be that stressed about it, so. And I'll usually let my accent color really exothermic and get pretty hot on me, but I'm controlled with it because I want to still be able to, in a controlled way, use it. So usually I'd say a target that I have for a lot of my accent colors is like 115 to 120. But that is not to take and start pouring into your countertops. It's to pour this off onto like a solid board or something and use that as kind of your paint tray. So I'm going to be pouring this between each one of your samples, and we'll be letting it actually cool down. And which one of you guys has actually played with resin? Have you seen when it cools down, it gets thicker and like harder to work? So we're going to let this get pretty hot and then cool back down. As it cools, it'll get stringy, and a lot of you guys initially will not like that until you start realizing the really cool designs and fractures we can get out of this. And just remember, a lot of you guys come in here thinking you want to pour your vein. There's not a lot of veins out in life that look like a big snaky pour. Don't turn around on your piece when you're mixing when you're pouring your veins out. Make sure they start from one side and off the other. Don't be like every 4 inches. You don't want tic-tac-toe patterns. Be random with your veining. So a lot of times I'll try to start out, yeah, exactly, I understand. I'll try to start out with one large, like kind of diagonal vein, and then I'll try to get as small and intricate of veins as possible going out from there and really work it. You can wait till after I do mine if you want to do yours. Yep, and just be patient. The biggest thing I see people is they're not patient with this. They immediately want to get their veins down and finish their project, and I said, just take your time. Try to be an artist here. Yeah, some of this is, well, I'll show you guys. So I'm at 110 right now. We're going to be veining with this product, so, and we'll be putting black veins in here. So this is 110, it's getting pretty warm. And like I said, I do want to pour this even hotter. And I think this is done and ready. Oh, that's perfect almost. So getting ready, oh, yeah, 113, it is ready. Oh, I'll grab that, I'll grab the roller.
So if your customer's house is really warm, would that change the temperature that you would?
Definitely, and I actually, that's a very good question, and I try to warm up all my customers' houses, so I always prefer that they're just not in that room, and if I can control just one zone, I will. A lot of times I'll even bring a space heater in and heat that zone up more, like just the kitchen area or whatever, but I try to keep it like 80 or 85, and I know contractors like to work with their like t-shirts on and windows open and a cool breeze. That's not good for epoxy, so work a little bit hotter, less airflow, you know, just be really thoughtful of airflow for dust and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm about 115 now. That's pretty damn hot for a pour, but it's perfect for what we're doing. Yeah, if you guys leave just feeling more comfortable and not afraid to mix, because it is kind of scary when you're looking at a couple $100s worth of epoxy and you're like, wow, I have to mix this up, you know, and then dump it out of this container, and I hope that hundreds of dollars turns into a pretty design. So, and I mean, from my perspective, I owned a granite countertop shop for several years, and I remember just the cheapest kitchen you could touch, and you were not making profit, might be $3,000 a lot of times, you know, and so all of a sudden epoxy, you're like, wow, like $500 worth of product. I poured a really good kitchen. It's beautiful. So I always felt like I was saving so much, and I just try to get people in the one thought is I don't want you to buy additional product, but don't be cheap with it, because your three-dimensional aspect, its ability to self-level, you know, you start pouring too thin and being cheap, it creates all your issues. So I poured at about 13, I'm guessing. 13, I think, is the math I figured, square feet per gallon up there, maybe 12 to 13, something, which is pretty heavy. So, but man, it fixed all my problems that would have created probably an additional pour. Ounces, that'd be like 8 or something like that. I don't measure ounces per foot because I'm never doing just like a foot, but I usually do 15 square feet per gallon as my target. And I always figure you can stretch it out to about 20 square feet per gallon, but that's in a perfect world, perfectly flat countertop, really nice primed edges, like everything going for you. If you just add a tiny bit of product, 15 square feet per gallon, it does so much of your work for you. So, especially I pour a little hot so that I can pour multiple. One thing I explain in some classes, we just did a video of a 3-tier countertop that we poured, And we did that in literally like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we did all 3 tiered bars. And we were able to pull our masking. And with that being said, I messed one entire pour up because we were waiting for I was being an idiot and waiting on something, and didn't pour, and it got so hot I poured it and it flashed on me. So I had to, like, when the epoxy was all gummy, get it all flattened back out from like 150-degree product. And I was able to pour again really fast, fix it all, and still peel my masking. So in 2 hours and 45 minutes, I should have been able to pour 4 bars. So, which is pretty surprising but it's understanding what we're doing right now. The lady was all impressed with my mess up. She goes, "Oh, it turned out so pretty and you learned something." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I learned a lot of things." I do want to just break that surface tension on that edge so it's a uniform sample at least. All right, don't want to let this cook on me. Our black accents, and like I said, we want to let this set for a little bit. It's at 120 right now. So we don't want to work this right away, but I'm going to be pouring it right next to your piece. So, and remember, this is a white marble sample. We are going to be doing black marble next, so don't take so much of this that you make a black marble sample out of it. So remember, the customer still primarily wants this to be a white marble. So, and the reason I do this is our most sold kit, period, white marble, followed by black marble, travertine. So we're going to be going over some of our most common purchases with you guys. So that's kind of why, if you guys leave class, we refer a lot of jobs out. If you put yourself on our installer or dealer board out there, the sign-up sheet in front of Jessica's desk or Mariah's desk, put your name on there, and at least if you get a white marble countertop, we'll know you know how to do it. So, did you go to ESI or any of those schools to do executive protection, or?
No, I had my certifications for just private bodyguard. I mean, hand-to-hand combat. I had license to carry when I was in New York.
That's cool.
So, but when you go to other states or other places, and you assemble yourself with other people,
I got you.
That can carry, because you can't carry in other places.
Right.
But you always make sure you get in contact with someone in another agency where you hire 1 or 2, they can come with you.
That was one of my first jobs I was gonna get, was doing that, and I was gonna have to go to school on it. The school was like $25,000, and I was like, man, that's a lot of money for a sergeant in the Marine Corps to be coughing up. You think you're rich until you get out and find out that your little savings didn't go that far. Be really patient with that material. There's no rush into using it. Make sure your white base is really spread out and just very even. We're not in any kind of rush right now. I'm going to start out and show you exactly a lot of kitchens. Russ, thank you for being here. Josh, dang like that. What's that?
He said, spit your gum out. It's rude. Just kidding.
You know what? Is that rude? Has my gum been pissing people off? I hope not, but Josh called me on it. Josh would be like the teacher that would freaking know that I'd never get away with stuff with. All right, so I'm going to start out just exactly a lot of what I do. I try to keep processes that I know I can repeat over and over and over and have similar processes. And I know that I could just get a brush out and dip into this black pigment, the black epoxy, and really start trying to be Picasso over here. Or I could start out and dip my roller into it. And let's say I have 80 square feet of countertops in a kitchen. I would literally just do this really, really randomly. And then I'd brush it out. That's all I'd do. And look at my very first thing. So if you guys want to just barely, less is more right now. So just barely dip the corner of your brush in or whatnot. And then just very slowly work some diagonal lines across here. Because all we want to do is we want to start out without a perfectly clean slate. If you ever look at like white marble in real life, it's not as clean as you think. So it's like a politician's life. If you get epoxy on you, while it's wet, the biggest thing to do is if you're sensitive to anything like that, like my jokes, then use white vinegar because that's a lot more gentle. If you're not worried about a little bit of alcohol, 99% or even like 90% isopropyl. Alcohol works really well. I choose to not use acetone because I don't like it touching my skin, and it dries your skin out pretty bad. Another way is baby powder. So if anybody has sensitive skin and you want to, or you just want to work a long time and not have chemical exposure, some white vinegar and baby powder is a really good thing to do. So you can kind of wipe your hands down with that white vinegar, and sometimes even the construction wipes that you can buy. And then a little bit of baby powder really just takes any epoxy or whatnot on your hand and like beads it up, and it's like not even there. So I learned that in Africa at an aircraft manufacturing plant. And I thought I was teaching them. Those guys were awesome. They taught me a lot of epoxy tricks.
You just like tosses the kind of stuff more bedroom groups need to do, just fun, and you're making badass stuff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the compliment. All right, so I'm going to start out here. I'm going to use a stick as my first major vein, and I'm just going to pour across. This is going to be a larger vein, really close to the surface, trying to create some surface tension. This would be like big even on a countertop, like a huge countertop. So
Josh said that was the rule in school. Teachers would walk past with a garbage bin.
oh, I know my kids always get busted for having gum, probably because I'm a bad dad and give it to them.
Forever friends said awesome things.
Forever friends, I wanna be. All right, now I'm gonna start just a really thoughtful, straight lines fracture. Do you know, I want no curves. Just try to keep those really right angles on here, just like a piece of stone, and keep all your veins going from on the piece to off the piece. And be artistic here, guys. This is your time to connect with that side you've been coming here to want to connect with. I honestly think a lot of dudes just are afraid to be like thought of as an artist or something, so they make their pieces suck because they're trying to be cool about it, or like get thoughtful. Look at a piece of granite, you know, like look at a piece of marble. I'd say that one of the best artists I know, his name's Robert Stone, and he's a stone fabricator, but he like everything he does is a piece of art. It's just, he was a union tile setter, and then he bid on the Phoenix airport, got the bid, didn't expect to ever get it, and all of a sudden had like $8 million or something he didn't know what to do with, and which I love those stories. I think that's cooler than forever young, I wanna be. Sorry, I got us like canceled here a little bit ago, guys. Leave it to me. I always get us restricted. Is that restriction going to count against us long term?
Yeah.
Damn it. How many of those do we get?
I don't know. I think like 5 or 7.
Okay, I love you guys so much. I will learn to not get us restricted anymore.
Yes. Not crazy legs.
Try to make some really fine, the finer the better, very small veins like this. And it's a technique, so I don't really care how perfect. Just make sure they're try to make them straight as you can, but as small as you can. Just barely letting the product, and then we're gonna do something with these to kind of finalize our piece, and it's gonna look way better. So if it's not perfectly natural looking, don't worry, just keep it really straight if you can, and small. You know, I wonder if I'm chewing my gum so hard everybody can hear it, and that's probably annoying as hell. I am sorry. That's what's going on. I am sorry, everybody. My gum is in the trash. I will not chew in your ear. Now let your epoxy drip off and like try to create some veins. Like I don't even know what you're doing. That's like an epileptic seizure there. So start from one side and drain a nice straight vein. Just let it drip off and go all the way across. Just let it flow. Like let it go all the way across. You're not doing yourself any favors not doing that. Yeah, and let it go all the way off one side and all the way off the other, and just do a few like that. Remember, this is about a process. So if you ever feel like, hey, I just don't know how to do it, then just slow down and follow exactly by the numbers, and even copy my piece, and you'll be at least a C in class. So if you look if it's better than mine, you might even get a B or something like that. I'm never the best. So, all right.
Everyone's saying yes, we hear it. Thank you.
I'm so. That's what Josh was the only honest person. I'm sorry I was chewing gum in your. Maybe that's why Kim Jong-un restricted me, as he heard me chewing gum in his ear. I am sorry, guys. All right, now I'm very lightly torching this because I have not sprayed alcohol. And like I say, light, but very direct. Do you guys see how direct my flame is? It's like an inch away. Nobody ever does that, but when you torch, I want you to be direct, but keep it moving quick enough that you're not seeing smoke. And you don't want to over temp your piece because we're still spraying alcohol. So this is just for major air bubbles, especially along those veins and whatnot, just to pop them. So don't do this until you're done veining, but this will really self-level, relax all your product, help it flow pretty good. And now I'll show you guys the whole technique. I was trying to show you guys what I want to see. You guys see all these little veins that look kind of fake. They're just like straight little lines around on here. I'm gonna get my gold at first. I don't want much gold because remember this is white marble, not gold marble. I'm gonna spritz a tiny bit of that out. The tiniest bit of charcoal down in my corner. And where's my just clear alcohol. You know what? There it is. Now, large droplets. So watch them barely spraying. And this, get intricate. Learn how to use your fingers, guys. A lot of people like the little details, like learn how to spray your product down. And now I'm not letting it be a mist because as soon as I spray like that, it breaks the surface tension across the top of the whole piece. And now my droplets aren't pushing these veins around. But if I'm slowly spraying large droplets down, it's pushing all that pattern around and you get the whole entire effect that you're trying to get out of these veins. So if you come up here and look at this if you want to, it's taking what looked pretty fake and you're getting some kind of natural looking veining out of here. But you have to remember, this is a process. I might do this for like 3 or 4 minutes until I get the veins to look exactly like I want them. But see how I'm getting them to checker and fade and whatnot? Now, if I was to spray a mist, it wouldn't do that at all. This is from droplets hitting it. So get back from the piece. You don't have to be right up on it like trying to target it. Stand back, let it rain on it. There.
Now you've got quite a bit on there, so you're covering the surface.
But if you notice one thing is I'm kind of spraying it slow enough that it's somewhat evaporating off behind me because I'm not just spraying it and spraying it. I'm being kind of thoughtful and patient with this.
And the brownish that is showing us from the other one that you touched, that bronze one?
Which one, sir?
The wave brownish a little bit?
Oh, the gold here? Yeah. That was the very first one. I did a tiny bit of that. Just a tiny bit of gold and a tiny bit of charcoal. So, but like I say, the one thing, this is funny. I never saw any color in epoxy 15 years ago until I was doing it, and I got made fun of for doing this. I got approached by several companies. I approached a bunch of companies trying to make this get it manufactured for us before I ever did this, and everybody would just mock this process. So I was not an artist, and I was in customers' houses pouring colors together and stuff. And this one lady, I remember I did some. I can't remember. It wasn't white or black marble, but I think it was copper. But I was spraying some accent color onto it that looked really pretty. And she goes, "Remember we wanted copper?" And I was like, "That's right." I was having so much fun with my color that I forgot what she originally picked. And it looked cool, but I ended up repouring that whole thing copper for her and being less accenting. So just remember, that's where too much of this gold goes. But I see a lot of people, they have so much fun watching it land that they just don't stop spraying gold or charcoal and then their whole piece looks dirty. So ruin this piece if you have to, but take your time really understanding, okay, on the next piece, like this one here, torch that out, have some straight veins across it. So on your next one, you know, okay, I'm not going to make a squiggly little snake because I just know that doesn't look good. But these 4 things worked really well, and I'm going to put that on the black marble sample I do. So, and it'll look really good. I guarantee that's plenty. you guys have plenty of room to practice on these. So make sure you don't have alcohol down, lightly torch, and then spray your accent colors. And remember, you can go back on if you want to vein a little more. Don't be afraid to put some veins back down. Push the button in the center. Yeah, yep.
Oh, that one.
Yep, yep.
Oh,
There it is.
And then if you want it to stay on, you hold this in and push down there and let out.
lock. Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yes.
So how close?
And don't be afraid. I see a lot of you guys have really dirty hands. Take your time and clean your hands or else you'll ruin a torch or something. One time you touch a torch with dirty hands and the button never works after lunch. And they're like $60.
Oh, right. What I'm seeing is the bubbles popping, right?
Yep, that's good too. That's a pretty piece. She's an artist.
I was.
No, you both are. That looks really good. Try not to drag it. See if you can let the vein go like fall off the brush, and then it doesn't ruin your little intersections.
Okay.
So try to, and you can try using a stick if you want to, like, because you're actually pretty artistic, I can tell. So. There you are.
You mean vein, as in like one diagonal?
Yeah, and I like just in natural stone, it's never going to turn around on the piece and stuff. You're going to have a vein going through the piece, if that makes sense. Like, I want this to look like you cut a piece out of stone, that the vein's going, it's continuously through. Like a countertop, you want it to look like this is a slice out of a bigger piece. So,
Got it. Slice up.
yeah. Thanks everybody for joining. This is our countertop epoxy class, and we're doing white marble right now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is the first sample of the day for a lot of these people. Most of them have never worked with epoxy before, so as you can see. That's fine. What's that? Yeah. Yeah.
Just get it with clear epoxy.
All black.
Oh, you're good. You're good. And remember, once that cures on the bottom, that might be a non-movable bottle for like 12 hours, but tomorrow morning you'll pop it off and it'll be a brand new bottle. So. Yeah, that's it, sir. Yeah, don't be afraid to get back. That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. Don't be afraid to get back and spray from afar. And remember, less color and more of the clear. Don't be afraid to work it with the clear. You already have a ton of gold down and you're putting more. So, I mean, as long as you're going for something, but it won't be white marble anymore. It'll be a gold marble. Yeah, now you're burning yours.
Flatter. Okay.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of heat. Well, yeah, just really slow, and it just started like melting into it. So now I would just, don't torch it anymore. If you're burned, more torching's only going to burn it more.
Oh, now I see.
Large droplets. Now look at these veins. Look what's happening to them now. Those are looking so good. That's pretty artistic. I think that looks as good as a piece of white marble. And don't be afraid to spritz a little gold if you want. Oh, you already have a little bit.
No.
Maybe not. Oh, that's a little burn. You know what? There's a way to get gold.
Do it. Gold. Is there any way I can drive that back, or it just splashed when I?
Yeah, don't be worried about it too much right now. We'll watch our next piece. I think you guys are doing pretty good for a first sample. You guys are going to be able to do this really nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, don't be afraid of a little gold, yeah. Don't be afraid of more veining too. Put another vein down if you want to.
So as in, put another vein, you mean like take the stick and just...
If you want to put more lines down, like
the
veins
brush,
across.
Like a brush through?
Yeah, whatever you want to, but like that, like what he did. That's actually really good. So.
Oh, the horizontal?
Yeah. That's like a prison riot. And that's just like
That's hilarious. He's back home.
yes. Now, if you see the alcohol, that's alcohol sitting, but that's like just a pile of alcohol. So if you were to torch it, of course, it'd light on fire. Now try dripping one line all the way across that top, from one side to the other. Like that. See what's on your brush right there?
Yes, yes.
Try just going across.
It's already thick.
That's perfect.
Yeah, orange, that gray is not good, that purple. The spray is not good.
Like I said, don't be afraid to go all the way across. Even if you only had like 3 or 4 veins on your whole piece, or 1,000, but you knew what you were doing, it's not a problem. Now we're going to torch this. And now all I see is some really straight, almost looks drawn and whatnot, but we will fix a lot of this. Notice I'm direct with the heat, but I'm fast with it because I don't want to overheat this. And now back to my clear. Speckles of clear. Get it to break up a little, see if we can make this piece look a little more natural. And look at it, already is working. But notice I'm not spraying into one spot and making a puddle. I'm just trying to like drop droplets on it. And now at least all those weird veins that went all over the place, they look pretty fractured and random really. I don't think that looks bad at all. So, and the trick is, as I warmed them up with this, they were really thick, as we saw. We could barely get it off the stick. But then I warmed it up with this, they became pretty soft, and then speckled it. Now the alcohol is evaporating, it's leaving a way harder base now. So, it's a good job, man. That looks good. I like it. These are all actually really good. So, that was a little too much, sir. A little too much. That's beautiful through there, though. I like that. I love the marbling. But you copied him too much.
No.
I can see that personal protection might be your job. Just watch the my Navy rank sucks so bad. I was never on a Navy boat. I was a Marine, but I was never cool enough to be on your
Lieutenant
ships.
Colonel would be the same.
Like a lieutenant colonel. That's pretty badass. From an E1 to a lieutenant colonel in 32 years.
32 years.
So, and he was selected by Congress to be an officer. That's a big deal. So, I was not selected by Congress to be an officer. So, and I think they had lots of opportunities.
Probably because you said the wrong words.
I got told that I said some of the wrong words for certain things a few times. So. Really work. I actually really like some of your guys' art, but remember, be thoughtful if you're trying to make a natural piece of stone. That is more what I'm going to try to teach here, and really be thoughtful of your veining. So it's just the success of this will not be an accident, but we'll be able to get it. Now, if you want to, we'll take our pieces, and do we have enough space? We can organize this back table if we want to, and we can put all our samples here, and we'll grab one more, and we'll have time to do another sample before lunch. And this next one, we know what we're doing, so we'll be fast and fun. Yeah, try to wipe the drips off as best you can, but don't struggle with it or create any issues. Don't worry about it if it's not perfect. Yeah, and just set your pieces exactly as so on this table, and we should be able to line them all up on this one table. This is where you learn the teamwork of the class, the potential for teamwork. That's perfect. You can be pretty direct with that if you want. Yeah, you can be pretty direct.
Direct from the top.
Yeah, really get real close, like an inch away. Get even closer. Just move it more. Just move it more. Yeah. A little closer though. Yeah. Here, I'll show you.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm like really direct, but I'm kind of fast though with it. Yeah. Thanks for being here, man.
No, I'm glad that I'm here. Honestly, I'm
glad you're
excited
here.
I'm here.
Well, thank you.
To switch container.
Which one?
This first.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we just keep forgetting just to explain on the job we do.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting. I'm good at not remembering.
What did I take it back over?
Sir?
In my area.
My cousin is a commander of one of the bases in one of the Navy bases in Hawaii. So
Hickam,
I don't know
Clark.
I don't know the bases, to be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know any of them, to be honest. She was flew P3 Orions for a long time, and now I think she flies that. It's like a like the Boeing 737 style thing, and I think that's the base. I'm guessing that she.
EP3.
Yeah, is that the? Well,
That's
she
the
did the
spot
EP3 Orion, and now what's the new jet version? It's the Poseidon or something, whatever they. Anyways, yeah. So, and then my grandpa had flown for like 25 years in the Air Force, so she's the only one that went and followed in his footsteps and did the pilot thing. So, badass. She went to Annapolis and then was the head of the Navy track team for a long time. Tiny little girl, but could run like crazy. Like do Ironmans and triathlons all the time. Suspectedly not my family. No. I used to run. I remember I broke my leg in the Marine Corps pretty bad, and that was like the last time I really just had fun running for just the sake of running.
Wow.
So. But I ran a 21-minute 3-mile on a broken ankle, so not the smartest thing I ever did. All right, guys, we're doing very similar processes right now. So if you guys want, just clean your area as much as you need to, such as the white cups and whatnot. And mostly what you're going to be wanting to do is get your cup back out, a new cup, mix 400 milliliters, so 2 and 2. And this time we're going to go to black pigment in there. So this is going to be really fun. I usually try to save this till you figure out the veining, because if you get veining on black marble looking good, I think this is hands down the best looking thing you could ever do. So. Maybe I better go put my piece over there. And so I'm excited to see what you guys do with the black marble. So remember, get your mixing container out. Mix a total of 400, so 200 and 200. And we still have plenty of time. It's 10:24. We don't go to lunch for an hour. Oh, thank you so much. This is Mariah. She's a badass. She's new-ish here, but you'll talk to her on the phone. And she's took a lot of time to learn what we actually do here. And this is Michael, so obviously you all know him already.
You too.
They know Michael's work if they're here.
Michael artist.
Very good artist, yes. He really is. He does a lot of the more decorative pours you see in here, so.
Are you a student of the class? Or you just...
He's a videographer. He does all our video editing, YouTube, TikTok, all that. That's.
But natural.
Yeah, natural. He pours epoxy. He does a lot of, if you've seen a lot of the dirty pours we do, he usually does those. So.
That copper one is.
Did you say that's how you roll, Beverly? Animal prints out of control. Tell me to 200 right there. Did I go over 200? I did. No, I didn't. Damn, fantastic. I'll pour mine too since I'm being slow as hell over here, Michael. And I'll get the mix going on too. This is our accent mix for the class, guys. We're gonna be doing white pigment in that one, but we won't mix our white pigment until after we get it up to temp. Nice smooth mix.
I would love to take a class. What state are you in?
We're in Colorado, but we're going to be in Dallas, Texas next week.
Or sorry.
Anybody live in Texas? We don't have any Texans in this class? Holy crap, this might be the first class I've had in a while without a Texan in it. They just kind of mass produce or something, I don't know. Like the military, if you have not met a Texan, if you don't like Texans, don't join the military. That is like all. Did you ever, in Iraq, I had an interpreter and I had a few guys on my team that would wear the Texas flag, and we would have to always explain it wasn't like another country. They called themselves the United States of Texas, but we're like, these are actually American citizens that work with us. They just don't know there's an American flag. They always have this Texas flag on them. They thought it was like Puerto Rico invading them or something. Always call it their Puerto Rican flag. You want to make a Puerto Rican and a Texan mad, just say that. And there's plenty of Texans in Puerto Rico, or vice versa. So, yeah, one of my best friends, I think we had the Texas flag on every single thing we touched. So I was like, man. Yeah, we got our tent blown away in the middle of the night one night, and the only thing he saved was the Texas flag. So.
Will you be doing classes in Arizona or Georgia?
No, not Arizona and Georgia, but if you're that close, you definitely come out to our Texas class, or we're going to be doing a really cool job class out in Florida. If you're in Georgia, you might be able to come out and check out soon. So, which reminds me, Michael, we need to get the dates on that, because I think she gave me the dates. That roof we're going to pour. We're actually pouring a patio, but as a roof to seal for moisture. So very exciting. With Elena. Jeanette, good to see you. How are you, Jeanette? Thanks for being here today. What time is it where you guys are from? Where's everybody from? Where's the furthest person watching from? Is anybody watching from Africa, South America, Australia? You should be in bed if you're in Australia. Past your bedtime.
Oh, it's 11:30.
All right.
Oh, 11:30 in Texas.
Charlotte, North Carolina, Lincoln, Georgia, Illinois.
Illinois?
What part of
Charlotte? Yeah, where in Illinois? Chicago?
It's 12:30. Wrong, but
That's where that was. Oh, Georgia. Georgia. The food in Georgia.
Oregon.
Oregon. I love Oregon. Went there like, 3 times in the last year and a half. I'm in love with your guys' coast there in Oregon. Arizona.
Oh, West Chicago.
Never been to the coast in Arizona. West Chicago.
What
Thanks for being here. Florida, I'm still waiting to see, but I believe it's the south west coast. So, waiting to hear the exact location. Goes in figures. In one class I mentioned that I shouldn't. I don't know the location yet, so I apologize. I'm mixing my epoxy, so.
we are quite spoiled in the PNW.
The Pacific Northwest. Beautiful, beautiful, best place on earth. One of the prettiest places.
Virginia. Greetings from Venezuela.
Venezuela, welcome. God bless you. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for being here from Venezuela on our live. If you're here new, please hit that subscribe bell or the notification bell or whatever the hell. Hit things. Click on things on our page if you're here new, because it'll drive up the interaction, and then everybody around the world will be on our channel. Super helpful. If you want me to,
They shared it.
thank you so much. You guys are way too sweet. Badasses. Thank you for the follow. Check out our YouTube. Our big push here, because I even got counseled or restricted already today one time on TikTok. Our other channel got totally pulled for lives, our main channel. So we have a very big issue trying to stay current on TikTok, because probably in my mouth I say things I shouldn't say, and they would say you're restricted. But our YouTube channel is pretty active and banging right now. So go check out our YouTube, and there's some really long form, really cool videos we put on our YouTube channel. So thanks everybody. Thanks for just being here. Vicky.
Jeanette, I'm sorry.
Jeanette, you're way too sweet.
Vicky said, I've been watching your work since TikTok on YouTube. And it's what got me into epoxy work.
Thank you, Vicky. You're a badass. Thank you. Who is this Vicky? I know a couple Vickies that are badass. You're just a badass Vicky. Thank you for being here, Vicky.
Did you get restricted?
I said a word I shouldn't have said. They're really picky about. It wasn't a bad word, but in China, I think the AI thinks some of my words are bad. So that's why I got restricted.
Once you get a notification, start the live over. I go live all the time.
Yeah, we do. We just went live. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys. Where are you guys watching from? Yeah, what are you guys' temps at? Definitely shoot that temp really quick. And you guys notice that exotherm starts out very slow, and it gets faster and faster and faster as we go. 73.7. You're fine. We're going to be going to 95. Let's go up to 100 before we add our color, now that you're kind of organized. But don't miss that 100-degree target. So, and then add your 2 tablespoons of black, and we'll go up to 105, pour it out. We'll spread it with a brush. So we're teaching timing and temperature, and sometimes that's the slowest part of class, because epoxies generate heat during the curing process. And a lot of times that scares people, and it kind of works against them, and often it can be used as a tool to make you more successful on your job a little. Be able to get through things quicker, a faster cure, drips to stop dripping, especially with a high-end epoxy. He must travel.
Northern.
How long should you practice before you decide to do a floor meet me set?
You know, Mimi, just come out to a class and we'll let you practice with me on a floor.
We have a floor.
Yeah, we have a floor class. And come out to Texas. If you come out to Texas next week, Mimi, we're pouring 740 square feet, and that's a good one. You can get out on the floor with me and pour it. So, and if not, I wouldn't say it's a timing thing. I'd say start out small with the bathroom and do your bathroom first so that you can do it again if you have to, and then just move into your whole house or whatnot. I wouldn't be afraid of anything, as long as I'd be afraid of being unorganized. Lack of organization will kill you on a job. If you're organized, you'll be fine.
Based in Canada, you ever been in Canada and see their logging operation?
Is the Looking Flat Fire still on?
The Loveland?
I mean, they'll go there.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
There was a big fire up in Loveland.
Really? I didn't even hear. We've had so many around us lately, smoke coming in, like Utah really close to us, and it's usually the ones just west of us that just swamp us in smoke.
We had 3 on the front range, I think it was last week. The
Really?
one that you're talking about, they were talking weeks before they thought they'd get it out, so it's probably still burning, but we're not, well, we had some rain, so we don't smell it anymore, so.
I'm the one that's in Arizona. I am already trying to
Who, Mimi?
I totally would if I was in Texas.
Mimi, make the trip. We have people from all over the world come to all our classes. Like here, in our class here, I'd say the closest person is probably further than you are from the Texas class. So, and we'll have 40 people in here, and nobody even from Colorado. So, I mean, we get people from Africa to South Africa, South America, India, everywhere in the world. So come to a class, you won't be disappointed. So, and if you can't afford it, call the office, and if your name is Mimi, you can have a free class. Is that Mimi? If you can have a free class wherever you want, Mimi, if you call our office right now, but only Mimi, and this is not good for anybody else. Beggars. No, I'm kidding. Unless somebody else really needs one.
Loke said, I
Loke.
use resin on my artwork.
Dude, good job, man. Share some of your work. I want to see it.
Vicky said, I want my countertops done black base with silver, purple, and blue.
Vicky, that'd be badass. Black. Dude, we should do a sample like that next week or later this week.
Screenshot that.
Yeah. We'll do a sample. Who is that? Vicky wanting that? Vicky, we'll do one of those as a sample. That sounds. We'll do one in class this week on one of our lives. So we'll hit the colors Vicky picked. If some of you others want a sample done, let us know. We might be able to get to yours as well. Unless it sounds really stupid, then we might just pretend we don't have time. Mimi, thank you. God bless you. Can't wait to meet you. Come out to, if you're in Georgia, you gotta hit one of our classes in Texas or Florida. So don't be afraid of a little trip. A trip where you better yourself. And, whoops, sorry about that. Remember how, like Grand Junction is beautiful, and the place in North Texas and north of Dallas is a winery. So we usually pick places you can bring your family and have a really nice family vacation if you wish. So.
We'll do our best to tag Vicky when we go live.
Yes, Vicky. We'll try to tag you.
And House 1000 said, where is the Florida class?
The Florida, we'll post the Florida one as soon as we have the exact location. And I'm sorry, I don't have an address on that. So I will post that on our site, but definitely check out all our classes on our site.
I'll post it to our link.
Yeah, we'll put it in the link tree in our bio as well. So.
Yeah, my buddy's up in Montana right now. Elk hunting.
Thank you guys for being here. I know that mixing is probably the most boring part of class.
Came out of Montana,
It was a mistake.
North Dakota, South Dakota, they have a sweet duck.
Is Michael coming to
I ran away from them.
What's that?
Jeanette said, is Michael coming to Texas?
Because they
Oh,
used to bury
he needs to. Should we keep it live?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna keep it.
Don't be afraid to take a quick bathroom break, grab a drink, whatever you need.
Levi had to use the bathroom. I don't know, Jeanette, if I'll be there next week. What is happening? The live is trying to kick us off again. I love that for us. Oh my gosh.
Spray some grain out. Feeling a good project, one in your mouth.
Okay, I think we're back. Sorry about that. TikTok is trying to stop our live, per usual.
This is the grade.
Look, we will check out your work. Sweet. You use flakes in the resin? Oh, like lowrider paint. That's cool. A lot of my brothers love lowriders, and they're always doing like car shows and stuff. I thought you meant like mica flake, like this floor in here. Jeanette, I have a lot of work to do here at the office, so I'm trying to get tons of content out for all y'all. So we'll see. I mean, that'll take me a week away from here if I go to Texas, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put your colors on.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Candy flakes. Ah. Yeah, we tend to do, we might do a floor this week. I don't know. We're really not focused on indoor floor, but maybe we'll do a floor. And Levi loves to do glitter on that.
I never heard you on the news, so
Yeah.
you've been doing something.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough time to be in that business right now. There's so short staffed. It was really good.
So guys, we're just waiting for our epoxy to get to temperature. During our workshop, we like to pour a little hotter just so it doesn't continue to drip for a long time. We like to move into other projects, so that's why we pour kind of hot during the workshop, so that way it kind of sets up quicker, if that makes sense. On a typical job, you would not want to pour really, really hot. Hello, Soretti. You're always so kind to share our live. You're awesome. Oh, it's thicker, yeah. I'm gonna set the microphone down for a second. Let's check the temperature.
talk about stuff that maybe they shouldn't know.
Somebody died. I must need to be more vigorous.
You have to have a strong mind anyway.
Yeah, you burn your last ones. You gotta be careful not to get too many bubbles into
Go into certain situations doing that.
That was at 79.
That one is really nice. I mean, they're all nice.
Already, our South Africa workshop got postponed. We're just trying to find it's similar to. Sorry, we're having the same issue with Texas. It's just we have tons of people that want to see us, but that's kind of spread out. So it's just, trying to get the right location where everyone can link up. So, yeah, that's what's happening there.
It's not as gray. Yeah, bluer.
And that was 77.
That would be hard.
Yes, we remember, Seretti. Yes, I have you on lock. You'll be the first to know if and when we go to South Africa.
Is it Andy Warhol's damn space?
What's everyone's temperature?
We're still low, not even in the 80s yet.
Yeah, I'm not even in the 80s.
Oh, just hit 81.
I'm
80.
80.9.
Just hit
He
80.
wants to go to 100. So.
Yeah, he said to 100. That's what he said.
No way.
I just hit 80.
Oh, much clearer.
Yeah, a little better this time around.
Yeah.
So how do you keep it clear when you mix the viscosity with the drill? Or you don't, you just don't care at that point?
No, you just go slower. You just go slow with the drill.
Oh.
I'm not very good, if I'm being honest, at drill mixing. So you never want me to do it. But Levi's really good at doing it. And you just, take your time.
You need a multiple speed drill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of the different epoxies though, you have to mix with the drill.
Like our floor, we do all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot thinner, so. And like casting, you can get away with it. Because casting resin's a lot thinner. And it can release bubbles better. But again, you have to be careful. You don't want to. Bubbles aren't good anywhere. And that's why we have that little machine over there
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
to get rid of bubbles.
So you put your piece in and you turn it on and it causes the bubbles to rise and,
Yeah.
Wait a minute, wants a cold water?
oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Oh, refreshments. Wow. Oh.
Just want cold water. Oh, I am wearing my regular. If anybody rides motorcycles, you need, this is like the old man hack. You just pull this out. It's like the newest thing for Velcro. Klim makes, KLIM makes a really good pair of boots here. They're super durable. And instead of like laces, you can just old man it like me. Twist this. Like it's tight. And they're totally watertight. They're totally watertight and they're amazing boots. So
Can I stir your bucket?
I got these to ride through Europe on a motorcycle and
Can I
I,
do this?
yeah. Stir? Can you stir for me?
Yeah. What? Oh, I suddenly have to go back.
Oh,
to
that's
my-
such good boots, Jeanette.
Okay, here we
Do
go.
another black core.
I may or may not. I may do clear, but I'm probably gonna plane that whole thing down too. So I'm most likely gonna plane it first. So
And infill the knots on the top.
all the knots and the cracks will have to get filled with epoxy before I plane it. But then I'm gonna cut that 4 feet off because the table's actually only this 8-foot section at this end.
Okay.
So we just poured it long so we can pick whatever area
So
we want in
what
it.
do you use for taper planer?
I'm gonna take it to a CNC planer, a guy
Okay.
I know, because I think I want it profiled perfectly flat too. So 'cause that'll turn out pretty beautiful, I think, if we do it correctly.
I didn't know if you used I've seen you routers.
I have a really big router sled, and it's just a joke compared to a big CNC. You
Oh,
get a
yeah.
big, I don't even know how big, it's like a 24-inch or a 24-foot deck, about like 12-foot deck, and he can exchange any head. He can even polish, sand, all kinds of things. And the one thing I like a belt sand planer, you can kind of profile thickness, but if there's any kind of like unevenness or warp, it'll kind of leave it in there and almost kind of profile that into the piece. Yeah. Whereas like a CNC, man, you can flip it upside down, make sure it's perfectly flat, flip it right side up, and you have like, if you want it 2.5 inches, it's 2.5 inches across the whole piece. So I'm excited to see this done. There's quite a bit of cleaning up I need to do here on these edges because you can't really tell, but I overfilled it all with wall epoxy, and what you can't tell is there's a lot of fractures in here, and I want to be able to sand it back to where all it exposes is where you have really raw wood and you have perfect black fracture in there. So I want all these really nice black fractures in the piece. So
So the table is actually only 8 feet, so you poured it this long, so you can pick the 8 feet that you want?
yeah, and I figured I'll cut the end off and have a fun drop piece or whatever. If we're pouring this, may as well do it. Yeah. So yeah, the fun that we were going to do this kind of totally different, and that little island piece was going to be down here, and the guy that actually builds like coral for SeaWorld was going to build coral, fake coral through the whole thing, and we had little sharks, and it was all scaled really cool. So we actually spent a lot of money on all our little modeling and stuff, and then right as we were getting ready to set it, he changed his mind. So yeah, so I was like, yeah, whatever.
So how many lifts of resin?
We did countertop to set it in, just because I wanted a clear, like really solid base, and then 2 casting levels. And we could have cast this in a single layer, but I really wanted to be careful never to let this get warm for any reason. So, I mean, and you'll usually wait on something that's like 1 inch thick with casting, like 7 days before you'd want to pop it off and demold it and everything. So
When you're doing different layers, how long do you wait in between?
Casting resin, I'm going to wait at least 12 and maybe 24 hours, because you don't want your, like, if say your first cast pour is thick and it's not fully cured, then you could reactivate it if you poured too soon into that too much product, and now you can have like a weird exothermic reaction because you have too much mass of product. So you definitely want to make sure that due to your temperature in the room, and there's a lot of variables, that your first base is cured and cool. So, and you never, with casting, heat is your enemy with casting resin, because you never want something cured in an expanded molecule form, and then it cools back to room temperature and it pulls back, and it has a lot of strength here. So it'll pull back and cure like in a smaller form, and then you'll warp your planks and everything, and it'll be something you'll never get out of it. You could dado and put steel in this and it'll never be adequate. You'll be screwed. So definitely.
Do you use cooling tables?
I don't, but I've been in like Reynolds where they pour 4-foot thick acrylic, and I just don't see, we just use slow resin. I think that the way better to just be use good product than try to use, because all those cooling tables are for like acrylics and stuff like that'll flash on you really fast, but that's not a temperature stable product or anything. So
Okay.
Dropping bombs that
Dropping
actually
bombs.
made Vegas with my luck catching a mid-morning live with the Bob Ross.
what, dude? In Vegas, somebody's partying, dropping bombs. Oh, he should be. Yes. God bless you, dropping bombs. Thanks for being here. We'll let it get up to 100 if you guys are comfortable with that, letting it hit 100 degrees before you pour.
When should we mix the black?
Yeah, mix the black at about 100 degrees, if you can wait. Remember, we want to be able to have it well mixed and out by 105.
So is this just rough sawn on the bottom?
No, it actually went through a planer supposedly, but as you can see, these are very flat and level on here, and they're planed at different thicknesses. So however it was planed, it wasn't the most accurate planing job, but these were just dropped off by a customer, so they're pretty smooth on the bottom, but it's not like a perfect. It's probably no better than you could buy if you were just buying it from like the specialty lumber suppliers or.
Did the customer kiln dry them, or?
He said that they were kiln dried, so I'm pretty picky about that. So, because if you have any moisture, you have issues. Yeah.
You can have up to 5%.
Yeah, 8 is kind of, we always try to be like 8 or below. So, but any moisture is kind of my enemy. There's no reason to leave it in wood. The biggest thing, I see a lot of people will get wood out of something like a damp area and then like let it dry out for 3 weeks and then encapsulate it. And wood takes about a year per inch to dry. So if you're trying to dry wood, if it's 3 inches thick, that's 3 years of drying. So you were a forester, and have you done that your whole life?
Yeah.
My very first job, I was the hard timber logger up in Michigan. So
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah, great. Yeah,
So-
I was telling him, yeah.
Mackinac was the first place I logged, and then Traverse City, bunch of little towns in between Traverse City, Mackinac, and in there. I did a lot up in North Idaho too, like more evergreen stuff. So, but most of my time was spent in Michigan. That's not the funnest winter logging.
Oh, yeah.
I drove a log skidder and then top trees. So, but trying to put chains on a log skidder in Michigan winter, and you're
Oh, yeah.
18 years old and just dragging those huge chains over the top of a tire, and they're freezing to your hands, and it's your skin sticks to them. And yeah, that is a good job though. I joined the Marine Corps and I kept waiting for like the job to get hard, and everybody was complaining, and they were like, I was be like, wow, this is nice. I got a pretty decent like 5 hours of sleep. Like, and these people are all complaining. I'm like, well, what did you guys do before? And most of them never had jobs. Like, what did you do? I'm like, I just logged all winter. Like, I worked 6 days a week, like 18 hours a day out in the woods. Like, usually I was at the job site at 5, 6, you know, and you're there till 8 o'clock at night all the time, pulling stuff out and the lights on, and yeah. You know, I thought logging could have been a better career if it wasn't for the people. Like, I feel like a forester is you're kind of removed from like being stuck in the low end operational side of logging.
I don't want to say that, but I mean, they did
Oh, come on, the guys I'd worked with that were loggers, and I worked with a few different crews and some pretty big professional crews, but it was like, I feel like the foresters were all like a little more educated side of, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I dealt with loggers from all over the western region of the United States, from Washington to Oregon
Right.
to Northern California. They're all good guys.
Oh, really good people. Just it's a dirty group to get to be.
Yeah.
It was like the Marine Corps seemed like, well, you guys are pretty PC here compared to the logging crews I worked with, some of them. So, yeah.
I mean, that's how it works. I mean, that's how it works. Like, we'll go out as foresters. We'll go out there, look at an area, make a prescription,
Right.
give it to the loggers, have at it,
Right.
and go from there.
I wish we could get rid of a lot of our beetle kill here, just so we don't have these
Oh,
devastating
yeah.
forest fires.
Yeah,
So, and it's so valuable if you can get to it and not damage your forest getting it out. So, I don't. My grandparents were really big loggers up in North Idaho, and they were part of the whole like spotted owl, and they had thousands and thousands of acres of land. And kind of their biggest frustration with it is they got mad because, like my grandpa, he was 3rd or 4th generation on the land, so he really had to take care of the land so you could live off of it forever. And like, so we'd never clear cut anything. Like it was always about like managing a forest. And then there was the clear cutters would come through and just wipe everything out to the ground and leave huge slash piles, and so everybody hated loggers, and it was like, but they all got treated equally, I guess, when they came in. And then like a lot of the land that got taken from my grandpa that got logged, like 20 years later, it's all burned to the ground because it became overgrown with brush, and all these forest fires were just devastating, where it would have never devastated it had they been keeping it clean. You could have probably like purposely lit a fire and burned out all your ground growth and stuff, you know? And I remember like living in those woods and stuff growing up in North Idaho and Montana and stuff, and really clean. All his forests were so clean you could walk through them, and now you go back up there, and I've been in the same exact woods, and it's just brush everywhere, like tangled dead stuff, and tons of, nobody's dug out the slags and down trees and stuff like that. So now a forest fire will go through and it's gonna devastate kill all the old growth. Yeah, but I feel like the hippies all feel like we're doing, you have a hardcore logger that just wants to cut every damn tree down, and then you have a hippie that never wants you to touch a tree, and I'm like, there's a lot of like management in the middle that can,
You have to meet in the middle.
Did I just get pulled? Am I allowed to say hippie in China? So sorry. Sorry.
A lot of preservationists.
Yes.
You like pushing the envelope.
Right. The colonel says I could. So
I met a few loggers. Most seemed like they ate sawdust as a kid.
most loggers seem like they ate I probably did eat sawdust as a kid. Hey, if you eat Parmesan cheese, you eat sawdust too, dropping bombs. Just remember that.
I never inhaled.
Yeah, you never inhaled. You ate it, but you didn't inhale.
It's like the bread.
Yes.
Like this lead paint kid.
Lead paint. Eating chips. I'd rather eat chips of sawdust, I guess, than lead.
Luke said more community guidelines. I don't know what.
Yeah, no. There's going to be a hippie community guideline now. What's your temps at, guys?
91.
91, okay. I am, sorry guys, 93 and 91. If anybody wants to work out, remember, go to Crossroads Fitness at the airport. It's Crossroads Boulevard is where you're going to want, and it's Crossroads Fitness on Crossroads Boulevard.
Can you just tell them you're with,
Diamond Coat, and they'll have a punch card system, yeah.
is there a shower there?
There is, yeah, there's showers, yeah. Group showers too, it's fun. Yeah, just like the Marine Corps. You have to run, you get 15 seconds running through to get wet, then you have to run back through, try to get soap. The idiots actually put soap on themselves because you only have 15 minutes to wash it back off your next run through. Everybody wonders why I eat fast and shower fast. Just like a car wash.
Oh my gosh, dropping them off said airplane showers.
Airplane showers? I've never had a shower on an airplane. What kind of showers do you take in dropping bombs? That is first class. You get a shower on a plane, you're either flying on something really big or you're a pervert in the back room and trying to hide from the stewardesses.
Oh no.
I got to fly on one of the last flights that British Airways did with a 747 over the Atlantic, and we broke the record. And I got so lucky. The customer paid for it, but a first class right in the nose, to where you could actually kind of see in front of the plane. And we had such a jet wind, whatever. But we were up in the jet stream, and it was so fast it actually pushed us. The pilot was explaining to us we were going to break the record for the fastest ever crossing of the Atlantic in a non-supersonic plane or something. And then as we got closer, he goes, as long as we can land this, like, we will have the record. And then we bounced so hard off the runway and went around. If you've ever been in the front of a 747 when it's like doing a go around. I've been in one helicopter crash that was like medium bad, and it didn't feel as violent as that 747 going around. I guess we didn't make the record because he had to stick the landing to have it or something, but yeah. But it's kind of neat. He said we were breaking the sound barrier technically, but we weren't because we were with the wind, if that makes sense. But we had a 200 mile an hour additional speed or something like that on the plane. That's crazy. I don't know. So they say. They could have said a whole bunch of crap and I would have believed. I would have been like super impressed. Is that the moon over there?
So we're doing black now?
Yes, sir. Black, and then our accent will be white. So it's exact contrast to what we just did, like a negative image. Hopefully it's a better negative image than our last one. Yeah, let it hit about 100 and then put your black in there. Don't let it get over 100 or else you won't have time. So let it hit 100, put your 2 tablespoons in there. And then you guys are getting close. And we'll be able to pour and make beautiful things again. I helped a woman in Saudi Arabia off a plane. She was a little old lady. Flew next to her on first class, and I thought everybody next to me was so classy. All these sheiks and fancy dudes and everything in their robes all looked like they were just a bunch of respectable people. And then we got off that plane, and I watched this old lady try to walk down. It was stairs because we weren't parked at a terminal. We had to walk downstairs. That was like mob on that lady. Just get the F out of my way. And so I helped her with her suitcases and carried it down, and then a bus showed up, and I put her suitcases on the bus and everything, and then we start driving back to the main terminal. And like nobody would give this old lady a seat. And I could tell they all spoke English because they spoke English to me on the plane. And I was like, you guys aren't going to give an old woman, she was like old and frail. And I was like, you guys aren't going to give an old woman a seat? So I kind of made a guy move. And she sat there, and I could tell right away. I was like, I'm just being American outside of my country. And then she thanked me. She's like, that's really sweet of you to do this. And she said, I live in San Francisco and whatnot. But she said, please don't help me anymore when we get in front of security. She's like, don't help me with my bags, getting them off the bus. And yeah, that was kind of crazy. She was afraid to get seen being helped by somebody like me in her country, like a man or an American or whatever. Yeah, but it's just sad watching everybody push past her and whatnot. So I just walked near her, whatever, and she was like thanked me several times. But just sad to see. I'd never seen a culture where they just didn't. Yeah, like, and you shouldn't have to know a person to want to slow down and be helpful for them. That should be a thing you do because of who it is, not. Yeah, you should always respect that. Couldn't believe it. It's like, yeah. I I had access to the lounge, and they were not trying to. That was somewhat difficult getting into it, I can say. They weren't very interested to let me in there.
You were gonna say she gave you oil rights or something.
Oh yeah, oil rights. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's funny though too. You fly back out of those countries and you see all the clothes go on the airplane, and then you just see people walking with bags, especially the girls to the bathroom coming back, and they're pretty like all their like Western attire. It's very different. You take a little nap and wake up, you think you're on a different airplane. So you're like, yep. And you're going into those countries and you see people walking past, and you're like, why did Ninja go back past me? It is a quiet group. Sometimes they're rowdy. You guys are a quiet group. Do we have anybody on there? A few people bored out of their minds. We're about to pour black pigment. It's going to be beautiful. We're letting this get hot, hot, hot. Ooh, look at that. 101. Well, yeah, 101. All right. Do you guys notice the black pigment is a thinner viscosity and it's lighter? So, yep, the white has titanium dioxide in it, which makes it really heavy. And you'll notice the white will really like eat other colors, if that makes sense. So especially the next thing you guys will learn, because we're going to start working with metallic powders. Metallic powders don't dissipate the heat in your mix and slow down that reaction at all. Like liquids kind of slow it down a little bit. You get that liquid to liquid heat transfer going on. So this will kind of like slow down that exothermic reaction. The powders don't do that at all, but you want to make sure you mix them kind of carefully. Just take your time so that they don't entrap more tiny little air bubbles in there. It'll get a totally different look. One thing I try to remember and just be thoughtful of is air bubbles, liquid powder into dry powdered pigments mixed into a liquid non-metallic base will kind of eat it. So you want to, if you're pouring like say a copper metallic over the top of a black or a white or a green or whatever liquid, you want to be careful that that liquid base doesn't completely encapsulate and just eat the metallic. And also, like I've seen people try to make this metallic, so they'll pour glitter in here, and that liquid color just encapsulates all those little glitter pieces, and you really have almost no effect. It might be a tint or something, but it's not going to be a metallic tint. So
if you let it set and then like powder the top or something?
you wouldn't want to do that. You could spray on top maybe, but you wouldn't want to, don't sprinkle your powder, but you could spray some with the liquids and stuff. But you'll just be thoughtful. I just want you guys to be paying attention to the differences between powdered and liquid colors. So that's where some of the prettiest designs come from too. The mixes of both is way cooler than just one or the other. You guys are about there, right? We're about to pour our black marble.
105.
About to pour our black marble, so welcome back. If you've been running to the bathroom for a commercial break, we're almost done. I'm going to... I'm going to grab a stick. Go to the chapel.
What is the temperature you're pouring at?
We're pouring this at between 105 and 110. Our basin, which is very hot. I only do that under really controlled situations where I don't want a lot of work time. And sometimes you're pouring multiple levels or something. That's when you want to pour hotter product. So. The Colorado National Monument, you like that quite a bit?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Isn't that a pretty drive? Did you go anywhere else?
I've been up to Ray,
Okay.
to the,
Did you drive here?
no, I was here 3 weeks ago.
Okay, okay.
My in-laws live here.
Oh, right on.
Oh,
What do your in-laws do? They live local here in the Valley, Grand Junction, or?
They live in Grand Junction.
Oh, right on.
About a mile and a half outside of the mine.
Okay. Well, now you have to come back all the time.
Yeah.
You can come to any class you ever want to. Just let us know, and there'll be a spot for you. So, not the rest of you guys.
It's gotta be a colonel.
You got to be a colonel to get into this class for free.
What if you bring a kernel with you?
If you bring a kernel, like the chicken kernel or like the real kernel?
Does that count if we bring the chicken
The
kernel?
the KFC kernel doesn't count, guys. Has to be the real kernel.
Okay, here's the brush.
So I've been watching you quite a bit, take the show on the road.
Yes, sir.
You were doing the sanding in somebody's
Oh.
backyard.
Yes, sir.
Just watching your YouTube videos, they're incredible.
Thanks for being here, sir. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for you. Let us know how we can improve too, because I know I don't do everything right. Stop getting cut off? Yeah, no kidding. That job was hard too. We kept trying to log into their Wi-Fi. Did they not have Wi-Fi, or were we trying to do it on a hotspot?
It was like more in the house.
Because it was blocking it, yeah. Yeah, those poor folks, they had 5,000 square feet of concrete all poured bad. Like, brand new, and it was all failed from day one. The concrete guy, God bless his heart, just kept showing up and pouring bad concrete day after day after day. Woo, 111. What's that mean? What's triple ones mean? What does that mean? It's my angel numbers being.
All right, then we just go at it like we did before.
Go at it. Let's be really thoughtful with our veining. I would like you guys to slow down with your veins, and every vein have a reason for it. So have everything really nice and flat. Don't over torch anything. There's no reason to torch too much right now. I noticed a lot of you guys, you actually warped your pieces last time. So just really light, and then start out with one big vein. Be thoughtful of it going all the way across your piece, and then really be thinking of how you can move on from there into some more natural veining. So.
If I still have a lot of bubbles, should I torch more or just be patient?
Just be patient. Don't torch more. Don't torch till it's all gone, because remember, you're going to be spraying alcohol. That's going to be popping some of them. You still have a lot of veining to be done. So don't rush that veining either. Let your product kind of set up on you a little.
So if you have something in it, I think I've got a brush here or something.
You can pick it out right now. This is a perfect time. If you see it now, that's good eyes on you, and just take care of it right now. And don't ever do this. Don't ever use an old roller. We'll see. It'll probably work just fine. I just knew somebody would watch that and be like, well, look what he did. Somehow it's working. My white is so set up on this roller, it's barely coming off.
Someone asked, what is a good brand for
Best product in the room is this Countertop Epoxy. It's an amazing product. It gives you a lot of work time. You can work it hot like we're doing now. Cold, you're not going to get yourself in trouble. Now just be thoughtful. Right now it's 11:10, so we're about to go to lunch. So we're going to do this kind of quick. We're not in a hurry, but we're going to just do it the way we would normally do a sample. But you guys could right now, if you'd have poured this out at say 75 degrees, you guys could not torch, and you guys could leave to lunch, come back 2 hours later, and we'd have plenty of time to finish our piece. So a lot of people want to know, like, what resin should I start with? And I say, use something like this that's very forgiving. So. And remember, I'm starting out by just a few little swipes into here, so I get a little, I don't want a perfectly black or white top ever.
And then brush. I could be wrong.
Are you girls best friends?
Yes.
For how long? One of you was like a month, and the other's like, oh, since kindergarten.
That's right. Now, at least
Don't really like her, the other ones.
30 years, how's that?
30 years, that's good. You know what? If you have one friend for 30 years, you're a lucky person. When you're a kid and you think you need all these friends, you get older and you're like, well, what a pain in the ass. I need a few people I trust.
TikTok says, great job. You've gone live for 90 minutes. Don't forget to take a break.
TikTok knows I'm about to say something. They're like, they probably have a special like division in China just for Levi TikToks.
You think they got a betting pool on you?
They probably do. He gone 90 minutes without saying a bad thing. The odds just went way up on me right now. They're like, he will not make an hour. TikTok just notified us we'd made 90 minutes of a live without pissing anybody off, guys. That's why I said that. That's amazing. Remember, we want some small fractures on this one too, so, and just keep it random. Keep it very, very random. Now I'm probably going to actually stay away from a torch on mine. On my second one here, I'm going to try to do this all with alcohol. And all I'm going to do is spray a little bit of my gold. The one thing I'd like you guys to test here, because it's black and it just looks badass, everything, all the translucent colors look really good on a black background. And don't be afraid to spray a little bit of that translucent green down. It's going to look really good on this black. And I like to speckle it right into my gold. It's going to give it a really cool mixed mottled look that you really can't get out of anything else. Your translucent colors, just remember they're fun, but they really just do not show up on a white, but they really, it's very contrasted the darker the background. The darker the background, the more contrast you'll get. Dude, I love shimmer gold dropping bombs. I do love me some shimmer gold. Spray a little more trans green out on this one. Yeah, don't be afraid to speckle it with some translucent green. Gives you a really clear, very close to a copper deposit that you'd see in real marble. One of my funner trips, I got to go to Brazil and I got to go to a big marble quarry. And the new marble was really boring looking. It didn't actually look very pretty, but I saw all the stuff out. They had a big display area where they were putting it on trucks. And it was beautiful out there, but it was funny. The new stuff out of the ground hadn't been exposed to oxygen and it hadn't been polished. And when they put oxygen and water and polished it, you got all the coppers and golds to really pop because it was just rust, iron, copper, stuff like that. So you got all these beautiful colors out of the rock, but just not right up at front. So take your time on this process, guys. And like I say, I'm going to not torch ever again right now on my piece because we're going to prove we can do this all just with alcohol.
Loke said, will it flatten out over time without heat applied?
It will. This will be perfect, Loke. Thanks for being here, too. Thanks for the questions.
I don't think any of them are straight art.
With the black one.
Huh?
I think that one's got.
The glares?
What is the percentage of alcohol?
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Really good question. The percentage of alcohol here, usually we'll start out with like a quart in here or a little less and about 25 grams. But sometimes some of the colors like pearls are so diluted, I try to put like 50 or more and I keep so much in here that I actually cut the straws down. Like a lot of the light colors, your translucent colors, I'll put like 50 grams. But the cool thing is this gold could last you 10 years if you're not using it. Just tighten it. And it preserves everything in here. So nothing ever goes bad with your powdered colors. But as long as you're artistically getting the look you want too, though, don't be afraid to add more or less. Okay, I'm loving what mine's turning into. I'm using my gold and my green to do a little bit of artistic modeling on the surface, so. Oh, I'm loving that green on gold. I don't think mine's the best, but you might want to come up and just look what I'm trying to do. You might want to do something similar, you might not. Don't be afraid to walk around my piece and kind of see different angles of it. I'm trying to blend a lot of this stuff at the same time too, so. Yeah, you can really get this green to like fill in and just gives a really muted depth to this that you don't get any other way. Then if you sand this, it'll kind of expose that in a really clean way, but it'll be matted and you get a really pretty subtle colors out of it. So, and now I'm still gonna go right back over and vein on this. Take as much time as I want.
We don't seem to have a bottle, just straight up alcohol.
Yeah. Each one of you should have one that just says alcohol, and if not, maybe one of your neighbors grabbed it, or we'll find you another one. Anybody else see a?
4 bottles, right?
Yeah. Anybody see a bottle, or maybe we displaced one, or?
And they've got 4.
We've got 4 back here.
Did you guys never have one?
We never had one.
It did. Because didn't it get dirty or something?
Oh, is that that's the one that got set in epoxy? I think that was the dirty one.
By the trash can.
Yeah, right next to that trash can.
So when you get this one, right, you spray it on the distance, right, still?
Yeah, and I sprayed it pretty heavy. I really sprayed it in there.
What came in contrast to that?
Join our team. You know what? Call our office, come to a class, and we have installers and dealers all over the world, actually. So. I'm loving this. I love black marble though. Little charcoal, just to give it that gray, a little bit of gray. Gray on black. That's actually going to clean up pretty good, I think, and I'll pour a few more little fissures, but after the alcohol dries off. So. You guys' samples I already see look way better. Way better. Look at this. Dang it, Patricia, you are a good artist.
She has a degree in art.
That means shit to
It's
me.
like 100 years.
No degree in art means anything to me. But that's actually, the worst photographer I've ever known was a girl that had a photography degree that works for us. And she was like the worst photographer. But if you got it, you just got it. And you got it, Beverly. That's badass. That is clean. I love that grain through there too. Ah, man, you gotta keep a little bit of a leash on him. You know what? You did actually good. Try to get your veins a little straighter and all the way off. Let them just pour all the way off if you can, because like all these little turnarounds in there, it's just not as much of a natural fractured look as you might get. So, but it's looking better. That's way better than your last one. Look at that, dude. The Forester picked it up. That's badass. He was trying to pretend he was incapable last time, which if I was your teacher last time, I'd have been like, you have a sweet boy on the parent-teacher conference. He was really nice. Yes. That's good, dude. I like this. Really good job, guys. Really good.
They used to say that about my daughter.
And he wants you guys at lunch when he's gone, stay late and play tic-tac-toe on his piece.
Okay, now.
Remember that whatever, like I love watching what Patricia's doing here. She's being really artsy, but remember if you have 100 square feet,
Yeah, I know, you
that's
gotta
where
do it
processes start mattering. And that's where sometimes people see me I'm not rushing on my sample, but I move quickly because I'm wanting to do it exactly in a process that I can copy on a big countertop. So, and now I'm not going to be torching mine. I have a lot of alcohol down, and you'll get a really good look with just alcohol often too. So, very much do not be afraid of just alcohol. And now my alcohol is evaporating, which means I can lay more veins. Mm-hmm. If you ever put a vein into the fresh alcohol, if you put a vein into fresh alcohol, you'll see a lot of times it'll hide. It'll let that vein settle below the surface, especially white, because white's heavy. If you guys want a discount, it's called Go Camela 25. No, I'm kidding. Should I start a controversy in the? Should I start a political controversy in the class? Are you a liberal white woman? I guarantee you have opinions. That's a dangerous thing to be around nowadays. Yeah.
Is it too late to do more veins?
No, it's a perfect timing to do more veins. Who is that comedian? He's like, during COVID, I learned that a liberal white woman is the hardest job in America. Like,
Did you also put just alcohol on?
I only did alcohol on mine, but really just make sure if you do torch that you don't have any, that you don't overheat it, and that you don't spend.
Well, this is all.
So the purpose of the alcohol is to,
It'll really pop air bubbles and break that surface tension and help level. It'll be like a torch, just much slower.
I see, and then torch is the
Yeah.
curate /
Yeah, the torch definitely cures it as it's working too, whereas everything else, like the alcohol actually, the one thing cool about alcohol is it evaporates, so it actually cools the surface, which slows the reaction. So if you're actually buying yourself time in a house, I stay away from the torch and I only spray alcohol, like all those big jobs I work on by myself, because I know if I torch, sometimes I'll be meaning just to torch down here, but then an hour later I'm coming back with another vein and I'm like, oh my gosh, this one part of my countertop's kind of unnaturally set up beyond everything else, whereas if I had never touched it with a torch, those air bubbles would have kept working to the top on their own, the product would flow together. It just happens kind of slowly, and then I wait till the end and you torch once and all that air is at the top, it pops, it looks really good. But all my jobs are where usually I see people use torches because they don't really know what to do, so they'll just keep going back to their torch and be like, I guess I can torch this area. Well, you probably should have mixed more base color, kept spreading, like got all your base color down, then started all your accents and started all your sprays and then torched finally. But I feel like a torch gets misused, especially dudes that are just like they don't know what else to do, so they torch. So,
Right. It's
like me, like me when I was learning how to do this.
Layers and not bombs.
Yes, exactly.
Dropping bomb wants to know, do the different colors actually have different specific gravity?
They do actually. Dropping bombs, badass answer question. Yes, they do have different gravities. Like your white is very heavy, black is actually very light. The powders are very light. The powders are all pretty similar in weights, but the liquids are all very different. Each one of them has a different technical weight. Okay, I'm trying to do a very translucent green on black marble with a little bit of gold marbling. Just trying to do something really simple. So now it is lunchtime, guys, so feel free, tidy up your piece. And we are going to be eating at the Warehouse 2565. It's 2565 American Way. Just go in the front door and tell them you're with Diamond Coat. They'll have a table set aside for you all. So 2565 American Way at the Warehouse 2565. And let's be back here at 1:30. So we'll be back ready to start working at 1:30. We're going to do some outside work today. And tomorrow we're going to a really cool guy's ice cream shop. He keeps pouring the floors on them, and we're going to actually, he's prepping today, so you guys get to pour a really big, fun floor tomorrow. So we're going to pour a really fun floor inside, and we're going to do outside stuff too. All my sidewalks out front, you can see we did this a long time ago with a class, and I wanted to see how long with non-flexible fill we could survive in all very failed expansion joints. The outside was kind of a wrecked slab, and I wanted to see if I never cut, how many winters I could get. Well, last winter I definitely got cracking, so we're going to cut any of those expansions, and this time we're going to fill them, and we're going to cut them to honor the expansion, allow movement. You're going to learn a lot. We're going to really go into movement of concrete and slabs and stuff like this, so it'll be fun. And grinding, walk behind grinder, hand grinders, generators, dust control, everything you want to, if you like floors. So I love floors. This is really fun learning right here, and Countertops will get you a lot of floors, but I'll tell you, your floors will make you all your money. So, but you can't really get floors without a bunch of you get through those countertops, be very unafraid, and get your decorative science of epoxy down with a countertop, and you'll be able to make really good money letting floors flow. So, but yeah, well, God bless you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here on TikTok. If you're from China, please don't cancel my page again. God bless you. And we'll be back at 1:30 Mountain Standard Time. Talk to you guys soon. That's a fire.